When we're done, I'm going to show you my score because this is online and you just click a button and it instantly tells you how you scored. What it is the Autism-Spectrum Quotient Test, and it's designed for people to self-diagnose so you get some kind of idea whether or not you are autistic or have Asperger syndrome. This was devised by Simon Cohen-Barron and his team. As you know, I assume you know, he is a British researcher, A-list top-tier researcher on autism and Asperger syndrome. He's got a lot of videos on YouTube. You want to watch those later. So let's go through this, and again at the end I'll show you my score. There's 50 questions, so we're going to spend a brief amount of time on each question, otherwise we'll be here all day. So let's get started. Number one, let me know by the way what your score is after we're done. Number one, I prefer to do things with others rather than on my own. I'm going to definitely disagree with that. I prefer to do things on my own. Sometimes, I like to hang out with other people and do things, but it's not that I don't like to do things with others. It's just that social anxiety. It's not the things. Number two, I prefer to do things the same way over and over again. I'm going to slightly agree with that because, I like things to improve. If I can find a better way to do it, I don't want to do it the same way every time. Number three, if I try to imagine something, I find it very easy to create a picture in my mind. Yeah, I'm very visual. Number four, I frequently get so strongly absorbed in one thing that I lose sight of other things. There needs to be a button in between. Definitely agree and slightly agree. So, yeah, I do tend to get absorbed in things. What do you call that? One-track mind? Yeah. I often notice small sounds when others do not. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. As you get older, you start losing your hearing, so I'm not sure if that even relates to older people. I usually notice car number plates or similar strings of information. Yep, I agree with that. Sometimes I'm driving down the highway and get bored, and I'll start adding license plates numbers. If the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll add 1, 2, 3, and 4. Other people frequently tell me that I've said that what I've said is impolite, even if I think it is polite. I don't like this question because I don't talk that much to people. So, you don't get a lot of feedback, but I'm going to slightly disagree with that. When I'm reading a story, I can easily imagine what the characters might look like. That is very true in my situation. Have you ever listened to a guy on the radio? And you got no idea what he looks like, but in your mind you visualize this person sitting at a microphone in a studio somewhere, and then you meet the guy, and you discover that, he doesn't look anything at all like I thought he would, or maybe he looks exactly like you thought he would. I've had both experiences. I am fascinated by dates. Not fascinated by dates. They're talking about dating people, going out on a date, not the kind of date that you eat. That's obvious, right? In a social group, I can easily keep track of several different people's conversations. Now, first of all, I don't have, those social groups, but when I do and several people are talking at once, to me that's just confusing. You just get zoned out. What do you think? Number 11, I find social situations easy. Absolutely not. I tend to notice details that others do not. Again, we need a button in the middle here. I'm going to go with strongly agree with that one. I would rather go to a library than to a party. Yep. I'm not particularly fond of libraries because I think they're boring, but given the choice, I'd go to the library. Number 14, I find making up stories easy. Slightly agree. I like to make up stories. I don't know if I find it easy. Now I'm going to change that because when I was a kid, I used to make up stories all the time. I like to write fiction. When I was a kid, now it wasn't good fiction, but I like to fantasize. I find myself drawn more strongly to people than to things. No. I tend to have very strong interests which I get upset about if I can't pursue. Slightly agree with that. I enjoy social chit chat. Not really. When I talk, it isn't always easy for others to get a word in edgewise. Slightly agree. People tend to get a word in edgewise because of my personality. I think I will talk nonstop if you let me. If, I've done a radio interview several times, and I usually tell the interviewer, you're going to have to interrupt me because I'll talk without end because one thought leads to another. But typically, when I'm in a live group talking to people, they see me as a pushover, so they just talk over top of me. But I don't think that's what they're after. Number 19, I am fascinated by numbers. Yeah, I like numbers. So we're going to put down that definitely agree. There are websites which are math websites. You go in and they give you an addition problem, subtraction problem, multiplication problem, division problem, and you type in the answer. That's what I do. That's my idea of a game. Number 20, when I'm reading a story, I find it difficult to work out the characters' intentions. I'm going to slightly disagree with that. Okay, let's go down. I'm going to scroll up here, make sure it's on the screen. Number 21. I don't particularly enjoy reading fiction. No, I totally agree with that. I don't enjoy reading fiction. I like to read stuff that is substantial, real. Same thing when I watch YouTube videos. I like to watch these crime, videos, but not the fiction videos, the real crime videos. So that's not the same as reading, but I think it's basically the same idea. I find it hard to make new friends. Yep. I notice patterns in things all the time. Typically, I would rather go to the theater than to a museum. No way. I'd rather go to a museum. Theaters are too busy, too noisy, too much going on. It does not upset me if my daily routine is disturbed. Slightly agree. Depends on what's going on. I frequently find that I don't know how to keep a conversation going. Absolutely. I find it easy to read between the lines when someone else is talking to me. Nope. Can't say I strongly disagree with that. No, let's slightly agree with that. So one of the problems with these tests, you mean one thing and you say another. Number 28, I usually concentrate more on the whole picture rather than on the small details. I'm going to put slightly disagree because I think you need to see both, You got to have the whole picture, but, in business, there's a thing that I call a marketing path. You got to see the overall picture. How are you going to get this done? So if there is no marketing path, there's no point looking at the details, right? It's kind of like, first of all, you look at a map if you're taking a trip. Then you decide the details after you decide your destination, where you're going to stop and eat, where you're going to stop and stay overnight or whatever. I'm not very good at remembering phone numbers. I'm going to strongly agree with that, even though people with autism, they say, tend to remember phone numbers. I'm really not very good at it. So that puts me, on the wrong side of the spectrum. I don't usually notice small changes in situations or a person's appearance. Yeah, I usually do notice those things. I know how to tell if someone listening to me is getting bored. Nope, I just can't tell. People don't listen to me that. By the way, you're getting bored? You can let me know. If you are, then that'll help me out with that. I find it easy to do more than one thing at once. Slightly disagree. Sometimes you have to do more than one thing at once. Like right now I'm talking, I'm reading this, I'm running the console, I'm doing all these things at once. I don't necessarily find it easy, but I don't find it terribly difficult. When I talk on the telephone, I'm not sure when it's my turn to talk. I strongly agree with that. I don't like to talk on the telephone. I enjoy doing things spontaneously. Slightly agree. I am often rather the last to understand the point of a joke. Yep. People laughing, and what are these people laughing at? I find it easy to work out what someone is thinking or feeling just by looking at their face. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. People with autism tend to have a difficulty reading faces. I don't think I have that problem. Maybe I have that problem, just don't know it because I can't read their faces. I just don't know I can't read their faces. If there is an interruption, I can switch back to what I was doing very quickly. Yeah, usually. Unless I'm taking a nap, then there's a disruption and I wake up and then I can't get back to sleep. I'm good at social chit chat. No. People often tell me that I am going on and on about the same thing. I thought they just asked that question. This is one of those trick questions where, if you don't have social interaction, people don't give you feedback one way or the other. But I think that would probably be true. Where are we, number 40? When I was young, I used to enjoy playing games involving pretending with other children. Yeah, we used to play, back when it was politically appropriate, we used to play Cowboys and Indians. And I guess you can't do that anymore. I like to collect information about categories of things. That would be very typical of people with autism, but, I'd slightly agree. I'm not really into keeping all those tracks. 42, I find it difficult to imagine what it would be like to be someone else. Totally agree with that. Where are we? 40. Okay, I need to scroll up here. 43, I like to carefully plan my activities I participate in. Yeah, I do like to plan. I enjoy social occasions. Nope, absolutely not. I mean, there are times when close family, okay, I can hang out with them, but typically not even extended family drives me nuts. I find it difficult to work out people's intentions. You have no idea how many times I've gotten into trouble because I can't read other people. It's like I'm bait for sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists. New situations make me anxious. Yeah, slightly agree. Now they do make me anxious. I enjoy meeting new people. Totally disagree with that. I am a good diplomat. Never go into sales. That's my life's motto. I'm not a good diplomat. I'm not very good at remembering people's date of birth. Yeah, I should be good at that, but I'm not. So people with autism tend to be very good at that. But, again, I'm on the wrong side of the spectrum on that one. Well, I find it very easy to play games with children that involve pretending. Yeah, sometimes. I like to play with the kids. When my grandkids were little, we'd sit on the sofa and I'd pretend that I was driving a car and, we'd go around the curves together and that. We would play games. Score my answer. Let's see how I did. Your score was 34 out of possible 50. Scores 33 to 50 range indicates significant autism traits. So I have significant autistic traits by 1 point. Now, I took this test earlier today and I got 37. So if you were to take the same test every day for a week or whatever, you'd probably get a different answer every time. So what you might want to do is actually do that. Take it, I don't know if you want to do it every day or once a week or whatever, but then average out your score. But anyhow, so you see those two rectangles on the screen? Let's keep talking. If you want, click one of those. But if not, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you all next time.